We're on the chilly shores of Lake Ontario here in this holiday season. That's the CN Tower there in the back with the NBA on TNT from the Air Canada Center, with the Toronto Raptors leading the New York Knicks 2019, and a lot of big hitters in the audience tonight, like heavyweight champion George Foreman.
Hey,
with a lot of food.
Is that guy a twin of Charles Barkley or what? I mean, two great athletes, two better entertainers, and two incredible appetites.
Two good guys.
I'm going to leave it alone because both of those guys are pretty doggone mean.
That was his pregame snack, by the way. You should see what he's got spread after the game. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, Craig Sager. Initial miss as we begin the second quarter. The Raptors have Davis, Carter, rookie Morris Peterson, Oakley, and now Alvin Williams on the floor. And they love Alvin Williams in Toronto. The Raptors have missed the last 6 shots they have taken. Out there for the Knicks, Sprewell, Childs, Thomas, Larry Johnson, and Glenn Rice. A small lineup. Peterson outside. And tap-up try won't go for Oakley. Out of bounds. It ricochets and off the New York Knicks. So a fresh 24 for the Toronto Raptors.
And you can see as soon as Mo Pete comes in the game, Oakley goes down to the block where he's on the offensive boards to keep the ball alive, because now they have 3 perimeter players out there. But they're not as under control with Alvin Williams and Morris Peterson in the game, but they have a lot more energy, a lot more excitement, and they make a lot more things happen.
Well, and I think the Knicks realized that because they extended their defense and came out and put more pressure on Williams that possession. I also liked that possession as far as the all-around defense of the Knicks. Thomas did a great job on denying the ball from coming into the post.
Antonio Davis is taking an exit, and Kevin Willis coming in for Toronto when we come back with the Raptors on top by 1.
My George Foreman grills, America's favorite grilling machines, are #1 on everyone's list. Moms want them, dads want them, grandmas want them, even college kids. It's great for the whole family. Start the new year out right. Knock out the fat for healthy meals that will be appreciated every day. Fish, chicken, steaks, even veggies, they all come out tasty. My George Foreman lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine. Find them in all your favorite stores from coast to coast. It's a real knockout package.
Raptors have missed their last 8 shots, yet they lead by a point over the New York Knicks. 37% shooting for Toronto, 44% shooting for the New York Knicks. Willis is in, as we said. Toronto with the 3rd youngest team in the NBA.
That's amazing.
It is, with Willis and Oakley and all these other. There's an interception by Rice. And he'll flare his way into the lane and feed to Larry Johnson. And here's Chris Childs. Remember now, Charlie Ward out for another month, maybe month and a half with knee surgery. And Larry Johnson dazzling inside with one move after another, working on Oakley inside, and a foul is called for a second time on Charles Oakley, who earlier this season served a 3-game suspension for belting a player, Jeff McGinnis, before a game.
Well, and looking at this shot, Larry did a great job of getting Charles up in the air. Larry realizes he's a good free throw shooter, so he really took this shot with the idea in mind of getting the free throw more than making the attempt. And that's an experienced ball player for you.
18 consecutive free throws now by LJ.
Well, what I don't understand is how could Charles complain about that one? He was riding him like a cattle.
Now New York has their first lead tonight, 21-20. They're on an 11-0 run, and Toronto has been horrible from the field over those last 3 minutes. Now they've trapped Carter and Alvin Williams, who came in a trade from Portland. Working on Childs, bumping into Johnson, feeding to Oakley on top, and he knocks one in over Glenn Rice atop the key.
Oh, that was a good shot. As a result of the Knicks trapping and moving around, being a lot more active, Oakley was able to get the kind of shot that he likes, that little set shot out there.
Morris Peterson is trying to joust inside with Glenn Rice, and Peterson, who is from Flint, Michigan, picks up the foul. By the way, that Toronto hit as Camby checks back in the game. Breaks a drought of almost 4 minutes. Larry Johnson will take a breather. So Camby, Thomas, Rice, Sprewell, and Chris Childs. Childs playing the point. Sprewell will play the 2. gets around the Canby screen, slashing to the baseline, and makes it work on the fly.
Well, that's a beautiful drive. It couldn't stop his penetration, but that's a tough shot, fading away from the baseline, not being able to use the glass.
It's a very tough shot, Danny, and I also like it when Sprewell is in a shooting mode. More than I like him in a passing mode because he has so many variety of ways in which he can score. When he plays that point guard, I think he has to think a little bit more about other people.
Sprewell playing some defense at the other end. Great interception by the athletic Alvin Williams, a kid who played at Villanova. And outside, it goes to Oakley for two. Good. Oakley has got his outside shot dropping. He's got 6 points, and he's gone 3 of 5, mainly from outside.
Well, you can see why Oakley's only shooting 33% from the year with all those jumpers. He never was a great inside scorer, even when he got offensive rebounds, because he just doesn't have the elevation. So his outside shot has got to improve.
Oakley coming off a Toronto high 22 points on Tuesday. Rice with a deceptive move inside, but it can't buy him two. Oakley with another rebound. Carter, hold on for Peterson. Oh, what a play!
Well, and that's an example of putting a faster and a smaller team, a younger team in. They didn't get hardly any transition baskets before Peterson came in the game, and now that he's in, they're able to get transition baskets.
Well, usually Carter's the one that is the beneficiary of these alley-oops right there, but there he throws a perfect one. Bounces underneath the rim, actually. How that ball got up over the rim is amazing, but great athleticism and speed up the court by Mo Pete.
I think he's a little better off at receiving alley-oops than passing alley-oops.
So that was pretty good pass right there, though.
Morris Peterson is the 5th leading rookie scorer, and now 6th after last night in the NBA.
Terrific college career, 5-year player at Michigan State. They won the national championship there, and you know, he's more mature than a lot of the young kids coming into the league now.
But Lenny Wilkins really spoke highly of him today when we spoke to him. He's looking to him as the future and as the season moves on.
Childs outside, and Alvin Williams late to get there, and a 2-point shot by Chris Childs, who said he was distracted when he automatically didn't inherit the point guard position when Charlie Ward went out with the injury.
Well, you know, this big guard lineup has been talked about so much in the New York media and by all of us, and as a potential the last couple of years. This really gave Jeff Van Gundy an opportunity to experiment with that big guard lineup.
I tell you what, they better experiment on putting somebody on Charles Oakley right now, because I tell you, he's going crazy out there on those 3-point shots.
6 points in the second quarter, 8 for the game for Charles Oakley. He's approaching the 8.5-minute mark of the first half. Here comes Sprewell, coming off a season-high 29 Saturday against Denver. Child driving inside, collides with the defense of Oakley, who gets the rebound, triggers it off to Peterson. Oakley on top. Why not fire? Thomas comes up on him.
He wanted to shoot.
I know
that.
he did. Here comes Childs, 2-on-1 with Thomas to the trailing Thomas, flying over Alvin Williams and makes it go.
See now, Danny, that's a smart guard. He comes down, he has the layup, but he feeds the big man.
Well, because that Alvin Williams was going to smother chicken that leg against the glass.
Oakley.
I guarantee you he would have shot that if he could have, but he would have got a block.
Peterson misses the 3, and here comes Chris Childs the other way. Childs threats a bounce pass. Beautiful feet inside for Kurt Thomas.
You can tell me that's smart. That's a good vision right there.
And it's smart.
I agree.
It's
That's
smart.
a great
He's
pass.
feeding the big guy.
Well, you know, this big guard lineup, we keep talking about it. It's had some success, but it's had some really bad moments, too. And right now, they're actually playing better with Chris Childs running the point. But, you know, it gives them another option at the end of games.
Well, and I like Sprewell better when he's in a think-shoot mode as opposed to being in a position where he's thinking about setting other people up.
There's a travel on Vince Carter. That is the 7th Toronto turnover. Wonderful feed by Childs gives the Knicks a swim 1-point lead.
What do you think of the jacket?
Get ready to party like it's 1985.
Go get her.
Watch Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore in The Wedding Singer, Saturday at 6, only on TNT.
Right!
Responsive Chrysler Sebring Performance Sedan. Proof that it's not the destination, It's the drive. Now, during the Chrysler Holiday Sale, lease the Sebring LX sedan for $259 a month.
Okay, who are you?
The milkman?
Do you have a sidekick?
No.
A nemesis?
A what?
A bad guy?
I'm a people person.
Have you been fighting crime long?
I don't fight crime.
What do you fight?
Osteoporosis. A never-ending supply of milk. And chocolate milk.
Want strong bones? Calcium may help prevent osteoporosis.
Gifts that bring out the fun in everyone. Turn on the fun. Best Buy.
The New York Knicks bench tonight has been dynamite. 10 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Here, 2 bench players go in for 2.
And you see right here, Alvin Williams is going to go block that shot. Child sees he's going to block it, gives it back to the trailing Kurt Thomas. Great finish. And then they come back down on the Knicks transition. And you see Kevin Willis is in perfect position right there. He would have had a deflection had his arms been normal length.
But give Childs credit. He understands that if you want that big guy to run the floor, you want him to rebound, you've got to give him a little hay every once in a while.
Allen Houston, who began the game 3 of 3 with the miss, and Morris Peterson has it. Corliss Williamson back on the floor with 3 fouls, with Willis, Davis, Peterson, and Alvin Williams with the ball right now. Childs is on him.
And that's not Allen Houston's strength to just catch and shoot. He usually likes to face, jab, 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 then shoot. Take his time a little bit. That time he rushed it. Good defense by Morris Peterson.
Gamby on the floor with Childs for the New York Knicks, Thomas, Sprewell, and Houston. Just under 7 to play here in the first half. 43% shooting for the Raptors, 43% shooting for the New York Knicks. And a travel. We've seen 2 now in the last minute or so.
Boy, that's what happens when you get a little anxious. I think Allen realizes he's got that rookie on him. They called his number. He went out there and tried to post him to take advantage of it. And sometimes when that happens, you're a little anxious out there.
And that little rookie did great defensive job on him. Much easier than he had it earlier with Carter guarding, who gave him room for the shot.
Defense, Lenny Wilkins told us today, is Peterson's only deficiency right now. And they got Willis driving inside. Tried to scoop it up, and Thomas was the one to belt him and draw the foul for the New York Knicks. And that is the first. We talked about New York rebounding, or lack thereof. Tonight, Toronto, John, had 17 rebounds to the New York Knicks 8, a difference of 9 rebounds in the game.
Well, I think New York puts a lot of different lineups in the game. You know, they get out there defensively. They try to be very aggressive, but sometimes they're denying the post. Sometimes they're playing behind the post. I think as a result of a lack of a shot blocker, sometimes you're out of position because a lot of times guys are fronting the post, guys are denying the post.
Kevin Willis with the Toronto Raptors' first 2 free throws tonight. And here comes Childs with the Raptors on top, 30-29. Been very close here in the second quarter. It was a 10-point lead for the Raptors in the first. Another bounce pass, Childs, Camby, Thomas, torn away by Williamson, and now Toronto's got a 3-on-2. Williams, Peterson couldn't catch it in mid-flight. Williams open for 2. Goal!
Well, there's another perfect alley-oop to Morris Peterson. He almost missed the first one, and that one he did miss, but he was able to recover it. Great athleticism. We love the energy that he brings to the game.
Raptors have assists on 13 of their 14 field goals tonight. It's Rice jousting with Williamson. Shot clock at 6. The drive, the lean, the scoop, the tap-in. Uncovered Kurt Thomas inside.
Well, both of these coaches have to be dissatisfied with what's going on the offensive board. You can't defend, let somebody miss a shot, and then they start getting that many touches on their own offensive board.
Well, a lot of it is happening, too, because of the breakdown on penetration. Right there, Rice knew that Corliss Williamson, he's playing with 3 fouls, knew that he wasn't going to try to foul him, went right by him. Weak side help came, nobody blocked out.
The New York Knicks are coming off a 4-day break. A couple days off, but they're flying inside with plays like this by Kurt Thomas off the bench. Raptors by 1.
responsive Chrysler Sebring Performance Sedan. Proof that it's not the destination. It's the drive. Now, during the Chrysler Holiday Sale, lease the Sebring LX Sedan for $259 a month.
Oh, no! The city of Townsville is under attack! This is a villain so evil, so sinister, so vile! Evil, evil, evil! You're in sin!
What's it? I've had it! I've had it! Your sassy mouth!
Go, girls, go! Silly monkey! Haven't you been watching the Powerpuff Girls? Part of Cartoon Fridays! Hooray! We're safe! Only on Cartoon Network.
Behind the wheel lies the thrill of Toyotathon 01. Get to this blockbuster event for great year-end values on Toyota trucks and SUVs. Like Tundra, just $349 a month for 36 months and only $2349 due at signing. Leases a roomy, full-size, I-Force V8-powered 2001 Tundra. Toyotathon 01. Oh, yeah. It's back at your Toyota dealer now.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. By Wendy's Spicy Chicken. When you're hot, you're hot. And by Adidas.
Now let's take a look at the Pearl Vision Canadian Open on TNT.
Michelle Kwan versus Sarah Hughes. Todd Eldridge battles Alexei Yagudin. The countdown to Salt Lake City continues with the Pearl Vision Canadian Open. Sunday at 1.
Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, and later at 9 o'clock p.m. here on TNT. Kevin Harlan with Hall of Fame coach John Thompson, NBA All-Star and NBA champion Danny Ainge, and the Emmy Award-winning reporter Craig Sager and our entire crew up here at beautiful Air Canada Center in Toronto. It's the Raptors by 1 over the New York Knicks. The Knicks, one of 4 teams in the NBA with the winning road record. Alvin Williams with the miss. Rice was inside. A gauntlet of New York defenders trying to battle with Kevin Willis and crew. Chris Thomas was in there whacking away, and Thomas comes up with the foul. Danny, does that surprise you? One of 4 teams with winning road records in the NBA coming into tonight?
I mean, that's ridiculous. There's some really good teams out there. You know, San Antonio struggling winning on the road, but you see right here, Utah always plays consistent basketball, one of the most consistent teams in the last 10 years. Portland, a talent, but how L.A., Phoenix, San Antonio, those teams have losing road records. It's mind-boggling to me.
I tend to look at it after the All-Star break.
You said that last year, too, and you were right.
After the All-Star break.
Rebound by Houston. Raptors come into tonight 11 and 10. Knicks come in 14 and 8. This is the second meeting this season between these two. Toronto won the first, 79-75. Rice for 2, right between the eyes.
Went around him the first time, and now he goes over him. You know, I just think that Corliss is not agile enough, particularly on the perimeter defensively, to guard Rice. But that's where he can do damage. I'm sorry, Kevin. Inside with that physical force.
John, a nice feed from the center. Antonio Davis inside to Corliss Williamson.
Well, that's the only way those big fellas ever get the ball sometimes, if another big fella gives him the ball.
Oh, come on.
Childs. He can't touch it because he lost it. Now Thomas gets it back for him, and here's Houston on top. They'll work against the rookie. The drive, the fake, and the lead. Willis with the rebound. Kevin Willis in his 17th season out of Michigan State. Alvin Williams with a little crossover on Childs down the lane. Can't get it to go. Willis is there. His attempt won't fly, and Camby gets the rebound. Marcus Camby in the top 5 in block shots, top 5 in rebounding in the NBA.
He's done an excellent job, and again, he's one of the best weak side rebounders, shot blockers, and slashers. He's a tough guy to have to get points from if you go to him on the low post, but he's a good complementary piece.
He's got 4 rebounds tonight. Kurt Thomas, who led college basketball in scoring his senior year at TCU, fanning there.
He led him in rebounding as well. They could use some rebounds right now. They're having a tough time keeping them off the boards.
Another hit outside from Corliss Williamson, who came from Sacramento in the Doug Christie trade. Williamson making his waves felt early in his career. He came from the Final Four champion Arkansas Razorback program. The Toronto Raptors lead by 4, 37-33.
Bologna? Or bologna with cheese?
Looking for something with some zip?
Bologna or bologna with cheese?
Well, Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich with its fiery blend of pepper and spices satisfies that crave.
That one is...
It's always special when you bring your first one home. Chrysler Voyager. Re-engineered and redesigned with dual sliding doors and over 45 standard safety and security features. It's the most affordable minivan you can buy. No wonder it's a Consumer's Digest Best Buy.
I am the Firestorm cordless multi-tool. I am 3 tools in one. I can saw, I can sand, I can even drill. I'm a one-man construction crew, and that's just the way I like it. I am the multi-tool. I am built by Black & Decker.
I'm the cool cat who read all that. Every book from front to back. I even read the tiny type. I read each one from day to night. I read about that famous flight and was terrified by tales of fright. Every page I did indeed. I'm one cool cat who loves to read. It's not coincidental. Reading is fundamental.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Denver Nuggets on the road in San Antonio tonight. You know, Rafe LaFrentz hasn't had a basket in the last 2 games, and it was the tirade that Dan Issel had against the big fella that set off the apparent problems in Denver when everybody sat out practice. But look at Dan Issel and Rafe LaFrentz, all smiles in San Antonio. The game is 17 apiece. Is all well in the Mile High City? I know Craig Sager spoke with the horse, Dan Issel. What do you have to say today, Craig?
Ernie, I talked to him before the game tonight, and he said as for Rafe LaFrentz, he continues to criticize him only for one reason, because he says Rafe LaFrentz has the ability to be better players than he was. I said, Dan, you're a Hall of Fame player. He goes, yes, if he had the work ethic, he could be too. It's the work ethic that he questions. Now, remember, Issel played 15 Hall of Fame years, and out of 1,242 games, he played 1,218. He says he wishes the incident was over. As far as the team is concerned, it is. But unfortunately, until they start winning, the questions will continue. Kevin?
Thank you, Triggs. Sprewell just put in his 7th point. By the way, Denver coming into tonight having lost 5 consecutive games, including a Saturday affair at the Garden against the New York Knicks. And another turnover. That's 8 in the first half. The Toronto Raptors are a team that does not turn the ball over. In fact, they are number 1 in the NBA, Danny, in fewest turnovers.
Right, and New York is number 2. So the turnovers are a big part of both of these teams. They can't turn it over. They don't have great speed and athleticism, so they need to take care of the ball and get a shot every time.
Rice for 3, a 19% three-point shooter on the road is Glenn Rice this year. Switch it over to Vince Carter, who has not taken a shot this quarter after going 4 and 6 from the field in the first quarter. He hasn't taken a shot in the entire second quarter, which to me is amazing.
No, and that's one of the reasons they probably are just going inside so much. Peterson is capable of hitting outside, but if you were to look at the Raptors team, most of the guys that they've been playing most of the game are penetrating or posting kind of players. Until you get Carter in the game or Peterson in the game, they're not going to run a lot unless the younger players are in the game.
Larry Johnson picks up the foul. Antonio Davis has a chance to opt out of his contract, and he says, guys, that one of the main factors for him to stay here will be the decision made by Vince Carter after next season. We talked to Lenny Wilkins today. He said it is a battle to talk players to stay up here, but it's the 4th largest city in North America, a huge media market. What's there not to like?
Well, it's getting a lot like the college thing. What my buddy will do, I will do. But I think Benjamin Franklin is the answer to all of it.
A lot of Benjamin Franklin. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I play baseball here. First of all, the misnomer about the tax issues is there's a lot of states that it's a lot more expensive to live in than Toronto. And second of all, it's a beautiful city, and they're really becoming basketball crazy. Look at this crowd here tonight. I mean, it's a fantastic crowd. They average 18,000 people, and people also think that Vince Carter can make a lot more money in another city. Well, he's making pretty good money now from the shoe contract, Gatorade commercials, everything else.
Antonio Davis missing 2 right in front of the rim. It's Sprewell the other way. Houston wide open, a great fake. Jackson flies by, and the 3 won't go. Hamby is there to vacuum in the rebound.
Beautiful lob.
You know, but what is terrible, beautiful lob, but what is terrible is that both teams, in particular the Knicks, are getting killed on the offensive boards. The Raptors are just pushing them out of the way. They aren't great leapers. They're pushing them out of the way and getting a lot of offensive attempts there.
Mark Jackson, the number 2 assist man in the NBA, coming into tonight. Here comes Carter, who hasn't taken a second quarter shot until right there. Rebound by Camby. And the other way, Allen Houston, the Olympian and all-star Allen Houston after last season. Sprewell tries to create across the lane, hits Houston, and flips it over to a wide-open Larry Johnson for 3. And out of bounds it goes.
See, the difference in that pass with Sprewell than when he's playing a point is that he looked to score, penetrated, pulled the defense, and pitched it out to the opposite side. And I like him when he's aggressively looking to score more so than when he's trying to set up things.
There's one player the New York Knicks cannot lose. AT&T halftime report is on deck. The scores, the highlights, EJ, Kenny, and Charles Barkley in studio. Next on the AT&T halftime report here. 42 seconds to play in the half. Antonio Davis has now missed 3 consecutive shots, all inside shots. And his Raptors still hanging on to a 39-37 lead. They led by 10 in the first quarter. The New York Knicks had a slim lead in the second of a point. As you take a look at Lenny Wilkins. Shot clock down to 6. Davis with a bad pass to Oakley. And that nicked off a nick.
Well, this scoring is about on par with the last time they played. Very low scoring game the first time around. So these teams both really are playing pretty good defense. New York likes to slow the tempo down a little bit unless they can get steals or block shots.
Mark Jackson spinning on Childs, who blocks the shot. Picked up by Camby. Quick outlet triggered to Houston. Dishes off to LJ. Broken up by Jackson. Makes amends for the loss at the other end.
Mark's not happy getting his shot blocked by Chris Childs down on the low post. He's not used to that.
Told you these teams played the very first NBA game back in 1946. They're scoring like it's 1946. Is digging his way inside Carter. Coming up with it, Oakley. Their bodies all over the floor, but the Knicks come up with it with just seconds remaining in the half. It's Camby. Sprewell fights for a shot. Double team. Can't get it to go at halftime.
Well, there's a perfect example. Carter should have given the ball up. He saw the double team come and tried to dribble around it. Caused a turnover. He's very fortunate New York didn't hit that last shot.
Raptors lead it by 2. They're shooting 38%. The Knicks are shooting 42%. Let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Charles Oakley, 8 points, 6 rebounds, a lot of loose balls, and also did some officiating there towards the end of the first half. What do you think of the score, 39-37?
Well, I think we got off to a good start. They missed a lot of shots, but, you know, Knicks is a tough team. They always want to fight to get back into the game. It's a good game.
You talked to Kurt Thomas at all before the game or shake his hand?
I told you before, and I have nothing to say to him. I'm just here to play basketball.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Kevin.
The New York Knicks are the #1 defensive team in the NBA. And tonight they've held Toronto to 39 points. The problem is they've only scored 37. We're at halftime, and Toronto being led by the 9 points of Vince Carter, leading the Knicks 39-37. And Ernie Johnson, we send it back down to you in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. It's time for the AT&T halftime report. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Kenny the Jet Smith. This is Charles Barkley. Thanks for being here, folks. It's 39-37. The Raptors at home leading the New York Knicks. Vince Carter, half man, half amazing, as dubbed by the Jet. 9 points, all in the first quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, there's a little something in his game that bothers you?
Yeah, there's something that actually I've talked about it even when he was in college. The same thing at the University of North Carolina.
Oh, is that where he went?
It's a trend that I kind of see. To me, he lets people off the hook. He doesn't punish people enough with the great athletic ability and the great offensive ability that he has. Right here is a situation where Latrell Sprewell, to take that fadeaway jump shot in the corner, you're giving him a break because you're saying, you know what? you really have an advantage. You're 6'7", you jump out of the gym, so why would you give a guy like that an advantage by taking a fadeaway shot? And he gets into that a lot doing it throughout this season, throughout his career.
I think Ken is right. He takes a lot of bad off-balance jumpers. No need to take those shots. He can get those shots anytime.
No real roughs up in this game yet, despite a lot of the pregame talk, a lot of that centering on Charles Oakley, who has been kind of saying, hey, look, don't even try to shake my hand, Kurt Thomas, I'll knock you down.
Well, like Eminem said, just a bunch of gibberish.
Who said that?
Eminem. I think that's happened out
you
there.
don't listen to rap, man.
I do. I like rap.
You like rap now.
I like Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, I feel you.
I like DMX and the late Tupac. That's pretty much it.
Hey, you don't like Biggie Smalls? But
he's dead.
But yeah, so is Tupac.
I'm sorry, you're right.
But we digress. When we come back,
West Side, East Side.
I do like Biggie. I apologize to Miss Wallace. I do like Biggie.
Okay.
We're going to be joined by Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, sort of, next.
Are they going to cry like Al Gore did last night?
It's 39-37. Vince Carter, half man, half amazing.
The AT&T Halftime Report is brought to you by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
I have always loved this game. It's the only game in town.
Fire! Engine 1!
Stay ready for impact!
This Christmas, at the edge of the world, his adventure begins.
I would rather take my chance out there in the ocean than to stay here and die.
Tom Hanks. Castaway, a Robert Zemeckis film, rated PG-13, December 22nd, only in theaters.
So, all you need to do is hook up your Model A43 desktops to a bunch of 148-2 MIPS-C1 Ethernet connectors. Then you add your 44 GIF stop-to-fiber USB SCSI cables to your eServer's application engine architecture on the LAN Opta branch. You're supporting the Delta, and naturally the whole thing's uplinked to the multi-task.
Fortunately, 3Com's new line of networking products are engineered to be understandable, so you'll quickly figure out how to get the most out of the Internet.
You still with me? Good. Because now it gets complicated. You take your Gigaline Hexport Mega switches...
3Com. Simple sets you free.
Now this is the fierce snake, the most venomous snake in the world. One bite from him and it's all over. Yo! Oh, no worries, mate. Luckily, we've had the anti-venom sent from America via FedEx. In my line of work, if you're not absolutely sure, you're absolutely dead. Oh, crikey. It appears we've used a different courier who hasn't arrived yet. It's okay because...
We welcome you back to the AT&T Halftime Report, and if you watch any TV at all, especially on some of the Turner networks, you've probably seen
some bad movies.
The promos for
oh, just kidding.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, like this.
Wednesday, Thursday. The NBA is in the house of TBS and TNT.
The NBA is in the house on TBS and TNT, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Well, little did our marketing folks realize, or maybe they did, that this would catch on as such a national phenomenon. Just the other night.
I sing it all the time, too.
Me, too. Yeah, when I'm in the shower.
That's a bad visual. Saturday Night Live even picked up on it. Darrell Hammond as the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Jerry Minor as Al Sharpton. Our thanks to NBC and the folks at Saturday Night Live, too, for giving us the permission to use that.
Why is it all right for you to name other stations and me not to name other stations, Ernest?
We're just thanking them for letting us do that. We don't run the other guys' stuff like we just ran NBC's stuff.
That was really nice.
Wasn't that good?
That was
like
good.
I'm glad that's the first time I see that. That was pretty hilarious.
They didn't have a white guy on there, Ernie.
Say what now?
They didn't have a white guy on there.
Well, I don't even know where you're going with that. Anyway.
We got to have a guy. We got to have. They didn't even have you now. I'm mad now.
No, but that was Al Sharpton
and Jesse Jackson.
I know. That'll be us. That'll be us too. Now we need somebody. Ernie, we're a team.
Hey, can we change course here just a bit?
Sure, of course. We got nothing else to do tonight.
I know you're well read. You've been checking out the sporting news.
Yeah, I have.
The 100 most powerful people in sports.
And I got some questions too with you. I got some questions. Okay, Tiger's number 1. I have no problem with that. David Stern, he's number 4.
Yes,
Ted Turner, we got to kiss up to him.
Again, the 100 most powerful people.
That's right. We got to kiss up to Ted. He's our boss, technically. Never met the man. Michael Jordan. You got to sell the whistles, man. You're all the way down to 52.
52.
Dropping like a rock.
If he says 2 words, he can jump up to 1. And all he has to do is say, I'm back.
He can't help that team. I don't care if he come back.
He was up at number 35 until they blew that big lead in the fourth quarter the other night, dropped to 52.
Well, this is my problem here.
What's the problem?
Yes.
There's somebody named Mark Lazarus. Mark Lazarus, number 61. You ever heard
61?
61.
Whoa!
Hey, other than the people in this building, there's nobody else in the world know who he is.
I know my mom thinks it's the swimmers, but that's Mark Spitz, isn't it?
He's the president of Turner Sports.
I think I know, but I know my mom.
Well, you know him because you were shining the shoes the other day.
I'm
just kidding.
Oh, my cats. Where are we?
He's just kissing up to the boss. Hey, you know, it's hard to kiss up to the boss. But who is he? I never met the man.
Well, the man is, sometimes he's around every now and then.
I need to meet him.
Okay.
But let me tell you something.
I have a feeling you will.
Hey,
you'll meet
Anna
too now.
Kournikova is in the top 100.
Yeah.
A-Rod was number 43 before he got the $250 million. That's ridiculous.
See, that's the kind of shoes that we need to shine, the A-Rod shoes.
I shine those shoes. You know what? I'll travel with a posse if I can be in this posse.
No question.
Back with more on the AT&T halftime report if you can stand it in just a minute. The New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors. Latrell Sprewell leading the way with 7 for the Knicks. They're down by a deuce in Toronto.